YouTube viewers, today is the day we put this stuff in. Got the Griffin, the heat exchanger, all the hoses, clamps, O-rings, and got the dual pass. I painted it black like it matters because it's underneath the car, but this thing turned out nice. Got the option B, and we're gonna go ahead and get this install started. So basically, ZZP states that just the hose kit alone is a 1.5 hour job, roughly, and all you need is a screwdriver to put it in. With that being said, hopefully this doesn't take too long, and the option B routing doesn't take too long. I think there's some stuff in here that I gotta take apart, but we're gonna take this bumper off and figure it all out. It looks like it's gonna be fun, but this is gonna come off, and the bumper is gonna come off, and I think, I don't know what else. Let's get under here real quick. So there's the stock, there's the AC condenser. I gotta take all these wires out. These fog lights are coming out. But anyway, I'm gonna get started taking this bumper off, and we'll see what it looks like when we get this bumper off. Alright, I got the bumper cover off. I took the, I don't know what people call this, the crash guard. Took that off. That's only 3 bolts, 13 millimeter. 3 bolts on each side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The bumper cover is pretty simple. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then 1 bolt right here, and then 2 little plastic clips, 1 here and 1 here. Same on the other side. Bolt right here, the 2 little plastic clips, then these plastic clips, and then there were a couple screws underneath that I took off. All in all, maybe 20 minutes to get that off. I'm gonna get the air dam off. We're gonna drop this AC condenser. On this AC condenser, there is 1 bolt right here, and then 1 bolt right here, and then it just kind of slides up into this spot right on each side here and here. And then once we get this AC condenser off, we can transfer the brackets onto the Griffin and then see what happens. I think I'm gonna drain the coolant out first and get that taken care of, but really it didn't take me that long. I'm just kind of tinkering around. I'm gonna redo this wiring. Like I said, I'm taking these fog lights out of this, the grill, I guess you could call it. So we're getting rid of the fog lights. I don't like them. So that's it for the taking the bumper off and the crash guard. I didn't have to take the corner lights out, but I did anyway because I didn't want to damage them. And then I just kind of moved the headlights up. I really don't know if you need to take the headlights off, but I did. And then another thing with taking the crash guard I don't even know if that's what it's called, but I was able to get a vacuum in there because there was a lot of rocks and stuff, so I was able to vacuum that out. So we're going to get this air dam off. We're going to drain the coolant, start taking all this shit off. Drop that AC condenser down. I might do the AC pump. I'm not sure what order to go in per se, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know if I'm going to take the hoses off the AC pump, get all these hoses off and see how that looks. And then go from there. Alright, we'll see you in the next clip. Alright, we're going to make a quick video just for my own reference and for your guys' reference. So that way when you put this all back, if you get new hoses like I do, because we're taking every single hose off and we're going to put every single hose back on. But luckily, ZZP sent me this instruction booklet, so if I forget like a dumbass, right here, it tells you where every hose goes. So hose A goes to the pump outlet, hose B goes to the OEM heat exchanger, blah, 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 like this. And then also, being the cool guys that ZZP are, they also sent me a diagram for the dual pass. So you got your heat exchanger, pump, surge tank, intake manifold, whatever. So you can hook up. Well, this is for their dual pass heat exchanger. We're not using two heat exchangers, obviously, but anyway, if you don't have an instruction booklet, I will show you everything on here real quick like. So here's your filler neck. Right, I already unbolted it because I gotta take these clamps off. Right, this one goes to the heat exchanger. So if you're looking at it from the front, this one, we're going to say on the right side, comes down and is hooked up right here on this side. So, no, I'm sorry, don't listen to me. This side right here goes around into your pump. So your pump goes on this side. So underneath the car, this is the right side of your heat exchanger. This goes to your pump. And then this side is the one that goes on, it would be looking at it from the front, goes to the right side of your filler neck. You can almost see it all the way up there. Right? So these bottom ones, this one goes to your neck. That's kind of funny. This one goes to your filler neck on the driver's side. And then this one goes to your pump on the bottom. Right there. And then the hose on the top, you can see right there, the hose on the top goes, if you can see it, that top hose is going to go right here to your end plate. So we got to get to that end plate. I'm going to start taking these hoses off and disassembling all this, and then we will check it out from there. But yeah, so like I said, this one is going to your heat exchanger on the bottom, and then that other one is going to your pump. So don't get too, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. You can kind of see it right there. So driver's side, passenger side, pump, bottom of the pump. Alright, another thing is I want to mention, a lot of people already know this, but your IC pump might be wired backwards, so you can check that out. I've rewired mine, so there's no problem. I just cut it and then soldered it, and then it was good to go. Another thing is these clamps are a bitch, the OEM clamps. So these OEM clamps have some glue like shit on it, and some of them are a bitch to get off, but I don't think I'm gonna have a problem really. Worst case scenario, I just cut them since I have brand new shit. But anyway, we're gonna get these hoses off and then work on this AC condenser. Like I said, I just gotta take those bolt and a bolt, and then this should just drop down. I don't have to hook any of that, unhook any of that right there. This I'm gonna leave all hooked up and hopefully can drop down. We're gonna take this off and then we'll see what it looks like. Alright, I got the, let's see, what have I done so far? I took off the air dam, and then I got this hose off, which was on the hose that went from the top of the pump. You can see it right there. It went from the top of the pump to one of those. I can't remember. I got the video. I'm not going to say anything because I forgot which one it goes to, but I can replay the old video. So I got both hoses off the pump. You can see it right there. And then this hose goes to the bottom of the heat exchanger right there. Now, I'm doing everything. I took these headlights out because, you know, you got to get in here and you got to get in here. One bolt to hold, that holds the AC condenser, and then they just slide up in here, right? And then these two brackets. Now, I got one bolt off of this side on the heat exchanger. I'm going to go ahead and take the bolt off the other side, and this heat exchanger is going to come and drop down. I just wanted to show y'all what I've got so far, because like, I didn't know what to expect when I got into this, but it's really a pretty simple job. I mean, I'm working with, like, these are the tools that I'm using. Not very many. A couple pliers for the clamps, a flat tip screwdriver, and then I had a couple, you know, wrenches for hose clamps that I put on myself. I got a 10mm socket. I mean, it's real simple. And realistically, I don't know how you can screw this up, to be honest. And everything that I'm doing, I'm basically doing it verbatim from a Redline's forum post. I can't remember the other guy, but I think there were a couple guys on there. One of the guys is on the in the Redline Facebook group. I don't really want to say any names, but I'm sure you could figure it out if you got online. But I'm literally doing everything step by step from that online post, and it's really gone really quick. So I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna get this, you know, factory heat exchanger out, and then we'll kind of do a comparison with the new one with the Griffin. And then I'm going to have to take this supercharger off, I think, to get this end plate on, which I didn't want to do, but I think it's just going to be a lot easier to take this supercharger off. And it's not that hard. It's like 4 bolts and the pulley, and basically that's it. So It's not real hard to take the supercharger off. It's going to be a lot easier for me to get to the intake manifold and get all these hoses run. So basically I'm going to drop, like I said, I'm going to get the stock heat exchanger out. We're going to take these brackets off, and then we're going to put the new brackets, or the factory stock brackets, on the Griffin. And then I got some other brackets that I think I might have to use. So that's basically what we got so far. Alright guys. See you in the next section. Whatever. See you in the next cutscene. Alright. Okay. We got the stock heat exchanger out. And it wasn't that difficult. As y'all know so far, and if you haven't been watching or you've been skipping through, because it's going to be kind of a lengthy video. It's going to be like a half hour to an hour long. So I'm trying to make it as short as possible and trying to get all the information in there so you can see what I've done and maybe eliminate some steps for you guys. I was able to pull the stock heat exchanger out without taking these hoses off. Alright. This hose is clamped on and it's got that glue shit on there. And this hose has the clamp, let's see here, right here, also has that glue shit on there. And I didn't want to have to deal with it because I'm not using the, what the fuck am I doing? I'm not using these hoses. So if I could just leave it on there, and I was able to drop it down through. It took me a little finesse, like a little fucking a Rubik's Cube type puzzle, but there is enough room to leave those two hoses on and the filler neck to drop it out. So all that stuff, if you can see, fits right through there. I was able to get it out pretty easily. This side, I was able to get out a little easily. What I had to do was kind of use both hands and the AC condenser and kind of pull it out a little bit. You know, pull it out a little bit. Just be gentle and it'll drop right down. Alright? And you'll be able to get the whole thing out just like that. Pretty simple. Like I said, I was trying to do this with the least amount of work as possible because a lot of this stuff is going to be new, so there's no point of me taking this shit off if I can leave it on. If you know what I mean? So we're going to take this bracket off and that bracket off, and we're going to slide them on the Griffin. And then if you wanted to see, if you were curious and you haven't seen the pictures yet, there it is. Alright. Stock versus the Griffin. Now, obviously the Griffin is turned around, but this thing's going to be badass. Now, I've read about mounting the heat exchanger in front of the AC condenser. I don't know. I'm going to look more into it. I might front mount my heat exchanger. I might not. I don't know. I think this thing looks badass, and I think it would be cool if you could kind of see it through the grill there. But I might just go ahead and put it back in the stock location just for simplicity reasons. But got it out. I'm going to take these brackets. I have the brackets that OTTP gave me with the heat exchanger. So I'm gonna see how this all goes. Like I said before, I'm going off of a post on a Redline forum, and it's going pretty simple. So also, I just wanted to throw in there, this is not just an install for the Griffin. So like if you're watching this and you're cutting through, like fast forwarding, whatever, just keep in mind that I'm doing the Griffin, I'm doing the dual pass, and I'm doing the option B all in the same video. So some of this stuff you might not need to do. You know, you're just gonna have to figure it out, but I'm just kind of going, you know, a little bit at a time, you know, baby steps, and eventually this will all be completed. So I think once I get these brackets on the Griffin, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the supercharger off and start messing with the intake manifold. So I think the next time we cut in, we're gonna have basically the Griffin ready to be put in. We're gonna have the intake manifold off, and then we'll go through and look at the cores, the Laminova cores, and then the end plate, and just kind of check it out. Alright guys, I'll see you then. Alright, I'm back. I got these off, these brackets. I just wanted to make a quick little fuck up that I did, because I was using, you know, my brain apparently I wasn't paying attention. You want to be careful on these, because I broke this one off. I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal. I hope it doesn't make a big deal. On these plastic brackets right here, it's got a little tab. My dumbass, I was using a little rubber mallet, and I pounded that one off, right? Not realizing that they have these clips on here. Now, on the Redline post, he probably talks about this, but I was just being a dumbass and not paying attention. So if you take these brackets off, don't forget they got little clips on there. You're gonna end up fucking breaking something because you weren't paying attention. So just a little quick FYI. Use your brain, not your fucking muscles. Alright, well, got the supercharger off, and some of the stuff I can't remember because it has been a while since I did the intercooler pump. But if you want to know about this intake manifold, you've never taken one off before, luckily I have a second one. This was the one I was going to get sent in for a single pass, but it just didn't happen to turn out that way. So, set this up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bolts. 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2 nuts. And then the one on the bottom. So this one you have to get underneath. And I think this is the one that holds the intercooler pump bracket. So I'm going to have to mess with that. I didn't think I wanted to, but I'm going to have to. So that is the intake manifold. And then this, here's your cores, your laminova cores, and this is where your end plate bolts up to. And then these cores have to get clocked. So we'll take a look at that once I get mine off of my car. We'll take that off. I just wanted to show you guys. So you got, if you can see in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then one back there, 7. And then the one on the bottom, I don't know if we can see it. This one's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna be able to show it to you, but it's down there somewhere. I'll get it. That was dumb. Shouldn't have even went down there. So maybe I can feel it. Maybe I can get it. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but that's basically it. 7 bolts, 8 bolts total. Well, 2 nuts. And then the bolt on the bottom. And the 5 around the engine. So we're going to take this intake manifold off. Clean it up. Also, be careful. I took my spacer off, got bent. I mean, look at that. It got bent when I was taking it off. I have another one, so just be careful with that. Alright. See y'all when we get this off. Well, I got the intake manifold off. And I fucked this bolt up. My man purse, so to speak, was a little too heavy apparently. And I bent one of those bolts. But I got this damn thing off. I have yet to put the dual pass on. I'm trying to find someone with these bolts. But we're getting there. At least I'll be able to put this on. I'm gonna clean that up. Gonna clean it up inside there. She's dirty. I don't even know how you get leaves down there. I don't know. But in order to get that off and then get to the bolt on the bottom, which is right there, you have to, I unbolted the alternator completely, but this was a bitch. So I guess I'll talk to you on the next video. Alright, this might be the last, I suppose, video for tonight. As you can see, it's dark out because I ruined that bolt, but I went to the parts store, got some brake cleaner, I got some intake cleaner, and I cleaned the inside of this out. I cleaned inside there, cleaned inside here, I cleaned off the cores, and I got new O-rings, everything. I mean, they're not perfect. They're cleaner than what it was. Now, when you put these in for the dual pass, this is the way you do it. You have the 2 in the middle with this part facing out, right? Also, when you look on here, there's 2 thick grooves, or 2 wide grooves, and 2 skinny grooves. You can see the different grooves, wide, skinny. Now, if you look inside of your intake, you can see I didn't get very clean. Inside of your intake are these grooves, or holes, slots. That's where the wider groove goes into. So you don't necessarily have to. Also, if you look on here, look, see this fat part and that part line up with the fat, or I keep saying fat, that and that line up with the wider grooves. So that way, also on this side, see? So that way you know that when you put it in, you can also tell which way to clock it. Same on the end. And then with this dual pass, like I said, you're going to have the closed end, 2 closed ends in the middle, and then the open ends, you know, the open side on the ends. So open, open, yeah, closed, closed. So hopefully that'll help someone out as well. There's the dual pass over there. I'm going to put all this together and call it a night. As you can see, we're still making progress. That's still on the floor. Option B I didn't even touch. So it's been a long day. I've learned a few things. Hopefully, got some crickets. They like this little burger. I think he drank some of that coolant. It's probably gonna die. Not my fault. Anyway, started putting things back together, but like I said, I ran into that bolt that I bent getting this off, and I'm gonna have to deal with that tomorrow. So anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna finish everything. Hopefully get everything finished tomorrow. I don't know. But, oh, another thing, when you put these back in, you know, go ahead and put a little bit of oil on these O-rings. It'll help seal them better. You know, so they're not dry, and you might crack them when you put them in or something like that. Most people know that anyway. So, anyway. Oh, also on these cores, to get them out, I just use this. Take this, put it on the end, you know, take the O-ring off, whatever. And then wrap some paper towel around it, clamp this down, and then put your pliers on the actual clamp, and then you can, you know, wiggle it out. That was, I seen a video on that from someone on the Facebook group as well. So do that. Hopefully you don't damage them. Be careful. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Put this dual pass end plate on. We'll pressure test it tomorrow to see if I got any leaks. I pray to God that there's no leaks, because like I said, it's been a long day. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Peace.